culture of civic engagement and community participation is an age-old activity in many villages of Meghalaya. One of the recent activities where residents have participated in a bid to make a difference in the community is volunteering in making the village clean. This community based activity has caught up with remote villages in the southern slopes of the Khasi Hills. Community gardening has expanded beyond the Mawlanong ecosystem. To the west of Mawlanong, tucked below the Lauba Ridge, 24 kilometers southeast of Mawsanram, lies Mawkhan, a village of 100 households with a passion for cleanliness. As we traveled past the roadside markets and many villages to reach our destination, the surrounding landscape changes as per the size of the village and population. We crossed Mawsanram and continued in a journey towards Mawlangbana, the tourist destination. The road was narrow but decent, and the ride was an enjoyable one. It has been some 15 years since Mawlanong got the label of the cleanest village in Asia, and today we see that a number of villages have followed the example of Mawlanong. The reward for cleanliness is unprecedented in the history of tourism in the Khasi Hills. The community gardening led to a boom in the economy of Mawlanong and the surrounding villages. It was solely driven by the tourism industry. Tourists from all over the world flocked to see the beautiful garden village. We crossed Lauba market after more than 2 hours on the road and proceeded further south towards the area bordering Bangladesh. One could notice the change in vegetation as we drove closer to our destination, Mawkhan. Turning right from the main road, we moved along a dirt road newly constructed and widened but still unpaved. We reach Mawkhan after some time. The village is surrounded on its northern border by a curtain-like mountain ridge which appeared like a barrier wall and ran for quite a distance, some few kilometers from east to west. The mountain ridge is a scenic landmark with a number of waterfalls cascading into the rivers and streams below. Mawkhan is a green destination, a village of about 100 households surrounded by thick forests on all sides. It is an agrarian economy. The residents are mostly farmer cultivators. As soon as one enters the village, you get a sense of the cleanliness that pervades the atmosphere.
We've come south of Mawsanram. We are in a village reputed to be one very clean village. We're going to take a tour of Mawkhan village and find out for ourselves the cleanliness of this place.
The pathways are spotlessly clean. They form into a network of tree-lined passages, and at regular intervals, they are ornamental plants that enhance the ambience of the village. Mawkhan from the top is an island in a sea of green. Hidden from the rest of the world, it is home to an organic and sustainable community whose residents feel that time has come for the village to be introduced as a viable ecotourism destination. A destination that seeks responsible travelers who are interested in the ecosystem and sustainable living. The recent growth of tourism in the Khasi Hills as a viable economic model to generate jobs and prosperity in the rural areas has caught up with many villages in remote areas such as Mawkhan.
Mangi kum kinok sang sinong ne nila perkhat man pedeng tersim ne ya perkhat kum ka darbar
Te phi sngo ba ka ni ka snong tu phi kala mo ban pediang ni kita ki turis.
ti kum balong kamun ne kinok sang sinong ne ki ongin pedeng teres ki dan ki jaka ki ding jeri ne ki wa ma ki jaka ki bakam ban kring ya ki kisai kring ki tersim.
Te kapor iu piang palat banwan sini po snong Mawkhan.
Sene kebiang de nadu banai Julai, Agustus, September, hadu Oktober nang piang.
Kay kajing itanat jong ning snong, itanat kapor baslap ne kapor telang.
Ka istanat bah kapor baslam sedasno.
Balai.
Namar lengbai jeng kita kisai, nak tagi neki saudang sokun ki jerngam bah mo ki deng kisai ke kita.
Por liur babiang phau slam ngiu i kum to giksai ki bami kilong hadu khat lai khat sauteli kidan tementa kum kasinong ngila pen khre kum giding jri ngidan kum kasinong ngila perkhat kini giding jri kilong ki man pen sanam ya kasinong ka pateng jungi mentang im pat sinai kini ndrei da kajing perkhat thamai mentang ngila perkhat bangin le ban nginang ya sinai kini ban pen sanam ikine ki bala le nasdang.
There are a number of waterfalls in the Mawkhan Ridge that have a huge potential for attracting tourists. One should not miss the grand display of the many waterfalls, some 13 of them cascading down the cliffs from the month of June to September when the rain-fed rivers and streams are overflowing. Although the village lacks piped water supply in the households, this does not deter the villagers from collectively making their village streams and water bodies clean. The government-sponsored NREGA scheme has contributed immensely to creating durable and long-term assets in the village footpaths, drains, bridges, toilets, and other basic amenities. We take a walk around the village with the members of the village council. They show us the various infrastructure that has been constructed with the help of the NREGA scheme. Footbridges and footpaths form the bulk of the built capital. The positive impact of the government-sponsored scheme has contributed a lot to the well-being of the community in Mawkhan. Check dams at regular intervals on the streams have helped in water conservation during the dry months. One of the simple but effective mechanisms employed by the elders to make their village pretty and tidy is rewarding children monetarily for collecting plastic litter. The village is a pretty sight. A diffusion of colors greet us as we make our way along the garden pathways, lined with colorful ornamental plants, flowers, shrubs and trees. The houses are painted in shades of light yellow and blue all around, and in every courtyard one does not miss the neatly kept outdoors. It's a veritable showcase of a collective conscience, a certain collective pride shared by the village. It is not in every neighborhood that one sees such display of an organized, systematic cleanliness.
Abadan kinong pang tinig belajar tingi rahasia te sama fram si kedon tu lana sesilong kijing pang long tak ki pang boyong kli ki jerho yum tu sai le rahasia cica rungku
Serengku. Nanti kedon ke
piersi kedon ke piersi
Te kambun hi ba pia no serengku.
kambun
Balai ba kamjan ne.
kamjan
Apparently, villages with weekly markets attract many people from all over, making it a transit area and a pit stop. The resulting floating and heterogeneous population in these transit areas makes it more challenging for the host community to mobilize and organize cleanliness drives. On the other hand, it seems remote villages with a close-knit, homogeneous society are more successful in making their villages clean. Nevertheless, the availability of water all year round is a prerequisite for keeping the village clean. Before we start on the second leg of our journey, we take a tea break at the community hall. There are a number of green spaces and pathways in Mawkhan where one can take a stroll. Some distance away, near a stream, there were a dangry of ficus rubber tree which the villagers wanted to show us.
So we are in this part of Mawkhan where there's a river, and this is the beginning of a root bridge. We have a massive ficus tree on the other side and another one on this side. So the Darbar Shnong, or the people here, collectively have decided that they are going to build a bridge across this river. This is basically something which they want to continue with the heritage of the root bridge culture of the Khasis.
The future scenario was that a root bridge will be built at the base of the rubber tree. This idea was hatched by the village elders as part of the plan to create assets for promoting ecotourism in Mawkhan. The root bridge will probably take another decade or so to be fully functional, but the initiative by the village council of Mawkhan to revive the root bridge heritage and culture is a noble one and worthy of being praised. Generating community well being through tourism is an inclusive exercise where all community members benefit, and I am sure that with the present leadership in the village council, Mawkhan will be the next ecotourism destination in Meghalaya. Our next destination is a waterfall some half an hour away from the village. We trekked across some amazing landscaped forests that was carefully and systematically cultivated with a number of crops including betel leaf, betel nut and bay leaf orchards. The trekking route passed through a few waterfalls located downstream. At some places there were no pathways and it was slightly challenging to make our way through the vegetation, but this is what adventure seeking is all about, to discover untrodden paths and hidden waterfalls along the way. Kirsham Falls, Wa Senyong, Kshaj Senyong Falls and Kshaj Tanjir Falls are located at short distances from one another, and all these sites can be visited with the help of the village guides.
Mawkhan has many things to offer. This is a surprise, unexpected. The waterfalls in Mawkhan. This is the Kirsham Falls, and something which can attract a lot of tourists, a lot of people to this village, to this beautiful village. So after that nice trek to the waterfalls, our hosts here in Mawkhan have prepared for us this special lunch. What we have here is this yam paste with small fishes which we call kutung, shriu and kutung. And over here is this chicken which has been fried and made in a special way. We call it Erkala. This is the flour of the banana mixed with sesame, neile, and this is the salad made from tomatoes, onions, and the inner stem of the banana. And we have here dal, some eggs and rice. So this is really nice for the hosts, and this reflects their hospitality.
It would take more than a day to explore Mawkhan. There are nearby villages and a well-known Hat Maudon market bordering Bangladesh where one can visit. It takes about an hour's trek from Mawkhan to get there. After lunch, we stumble into a football match played between the Mawkhan footballers and a neighboring village team. Football is without a doubt the most popular sport in the rural areas of Khasi Jaintia Hills, and there are tournaments all year round. It is one of the popular forms of entertainment here in Mawkhan. Both young and old love watching the sport that brings together villages and communities and reinforces and strengthens ties between them every once in a while. We move on to Hat Maudon in our vehicle as it was a bit late to walk on foot. It takes some 15 minutes to reach the market. It was the weekly market day of Hat Maudon, and we entered to find out more about what the place was all about.
We are in the middle of Hat Maudon, and this is the hub, the marketplace where all cultures meet. And we've come here to see what kind of a market this Hat Maudon is. And come with us and we'll show you around.
It is one of the biggest markets in the area, and there were a variety of goods being sold. The market is another form of entertainment for the villagers who visit it once a week. It's a colorful assembly of people from different tribes and groups visiting Hat Maudon. The villagers of nearby Rinku village, whose residents belong to the Hajong community, are easily identifiable by their traditional attire. It's a meeting place of cultures for many generations, and the relationship between the groups is a mutually beneficial one. Hat Maudon is not only a trading center where the buying and selling of goods and services takes precedence, but most importantly, it is a center where the exchange of social relations is peaceful and one that strengthens the ties amongst the various communities.
We've come to the end of the day. We are in Hat Maudon, and this is a bustling market in the border areas. And the people here are of different ethnicities. And a day in the village is all about immersing yourself in the sights, the sounds and the color of this village. Until we meet again in another village. Kublai.